Welcome, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well this evening and having a good Monday, as good of a Monday as can be. I hope. Uh, this stream is not going to be. I don't imagine it being too funny, I guess, for lack of a better term. I know that I try to be entertaining here and keep you guys laughing and try to shine some humor onto things that you know are generally not very funny, such as people victimizing victims further for their own gain. And this is more about Michael Vaughn's mother, who is going through a really, really unimaginable time right now. And I'm going to go ahead and just play. Let me refresh this and. Let's try to educate ourselves on this case a little bit, because I want to be honest with you guys. I have not covered this case. I know very little about it. So I won't be going too deep into any speculations or anything of that nature. I don't think that would be very respectful to not only Michael or his family, but also the wonderful channels that have been covering this case very responsibly. Chasing Truth being one of them. Yeah, there's quite a few channels that have been. So I would encourage you, if you guys want to educate yourselves on this case, there are plenty of other channels that have been doing an excellent job. But what I'm going to do, I am going to play some news clips. I'm going to try to educate myself a little bit more on here with you guys who aren't very well educated on it. And that's just simply out of respect. And but this is mostly about the fact that Michael's mother went on a panel today, went very public, spoke up a couple of times, and spoke up about creators that we talk about a lot on this channel. Not specifically. I don't think she named any names, but Uh, she doesn't have to, because we know who they are. She described their actions, and that was enough for us to know who they are. So so we're going to go over some of that. Let me see what I can do here. Because I pulled up this thing and it's got a video, so I don't really know what's on the video. So forgive me if it's not. Okay. So this is actually helpful. This explains what an Amber Alert is. And I love that Amber Alerts are a thing now. I just love it. You know, every single person has a device in their hand now. So that's a flyer everybody's going to see. I guess that's what that was. Okay. Um, uh, um, so I'm going to go ahead and read this article because it says what we know. Um, So it says here, investigators searching for missing 5-year-old Michael Vaughn of Idaho reportedly have a new lead in the case as police turn their attention to a property close to the boy's home over the weekend. The youngster was last seen in July of last year when he left his home in the rural community of Fruitland, Idaho, to find and play with his friends. His mother, Brandy Neal, said she was working and her husband was home organizing dinner, and neither were aware their son had snuck out. She said she later learned that he had gone to 3 neighbors' houses, according to the news outlet News Nation Now. This week, police are digging in the yard of a property just a 4-minute walk away from Michael's home after reportedly receiving a tip that the boy's remains could be buried there, the site reported. Newsweek has reached out to Fruitland Police Department for further information. A $26,000 reward has been offered for information leading to the safe return of the youngster. And in a new development, the Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff told local news outlet KTVB that police received a very credible tip that led them to excavate the yard on Red Wing Street, which is not far from Michael's home, on Southwest 9th Street. During the course of the investigation, we received information the remains of Michael Vaughn might be found behind the house, Huff said, when the search began on Saturday. As a result, we obtained a search warrant. We have not found anything yet, but we will continue to excavate in hopes of finding his remains. Huff said the couple that lives in the home where the search is being conducted does not own it, and to his knowledge, they have no connection to the Vaughn family. Police have a backhoe. They have canines. They are putting dirt into a dump truck, and they're going away. Then they're sifting through that dirt. Lauren Matthias, the host of Hidden True Crime Podcast and spokesperson for the Vaughn family, told News Nation they did go over to the Neal home, to Brandy's home, and told them yesterday morning, this is happening. We have a tip. We are looking for remains. Matthias told News Nation Neal is distraught, adding she is not doing okay. That is a direct quote from her. We are not okay. I've had to tell his siblings that he might not be coming home. According to Matthias, police told Neal to stay away from the site. when law enforcement went over to kind of debrief them and let them know what was going on, they specifically said to Brandy, "Do not come over to this house." She told me. She said it's doing everything I can not to go over there. Matthias told News Nation, she said, "This is my baby. This is my baby." She said she was pacing back and forth, trying so hard not to go over to that house. She did try crying when she said the words remains were used. She said, "I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to use that word yet. There's still hope. I'm not ready to tell his siblings that he's not coming home, not yet." According to the News Nation report, Matthias said the couple who lives in the house where the search is being conducted are both reportedly in custody, but neither have been charged in connection with Michael's disappearance. One was taken into custody on Friday, Matthias said, while the other has already been in custody since May. The name of the couple have not been released. Michael Vaughn's disappearance pertains, Michael, who is nicknamed Monkey, was last seen at around 6:30 p.m. on July 27th, 2021. He was 5 years old when he disappeared, but he turned 6 on June 24th this year, and his family was forced to mark the occasion without him. Fruitland police confirmed early into their investigation that preliminary evidence suggested his disappearance was likely to be as the result of an abduction. Sending out an alert for the little boy, they described him as having blonde hair and blue eyes, standing just 3 feet 7 inches tall and weighing around 50 pounds. To date, the department has looked into nearly 1,000 leads and tips that have come in from the public, KTVB7 reported. All right, so that's it on that one. Go ahead and play this. And guys, make sure to subscribe to Chasing Truth. I'm going to play one of her videos in a bit too. Welcome, Duty Ron. It's good to see you, buddy. Make sure to subscribe to Duty Ron as well, guys, if you're not already.
Well, it was an emotional day in Fruitland as police dug through a backyard searching for the remains of missing Fruitland boy.
And subscribe to Morbid Reality,
and tonight,
too.
So many questions still remain. Thank you for joining us here on this special edition of the Saturday News at 10. I'm Shira Matsuzawa, and you watched as that search was happening live right here on the news at 5 and 6. Take a look now. This is an updated map of the area. The home is about 4 minutes away from the Vaughn's neighborhood where Michael was last seen. The then 5-year-old went missing in July of last year, and there's been a nationwide search since. KTV was first on scene today, and Jude Binkley walks us through what we know so far.
Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff confirmed they're looking for missing Michael Vaughn's remains in the backyard of this house on Red Wing Street in Fruitland. On Saturday afternoon, law enforcement and search crews dug up the backyard of a home nestled in this Fruitland subdivision, only 4 minutes away from where Michael Vaughn lived.
I get more than a little pissed off, guys, when I have to interrupt something because somebody's acting a fool in chat when we're talking about something as serious as this. And it's incredibly disrespectful to the victims. It's incredibly disrespectful to the victim's family. And it's incredibly disrespectful to the wonderful creators that are in here right now that have been covering this case with care and tact and concern. So I'm not going to put up with it. You will be ejected and hidden, and I don't go back into my hidden list and unhide people when they ask me to do it. So once you're hidden in this channel, you're condemned. You're gone, just for the record. So I suggest, and I would humbly request that you respect everyone that I named during this stream. This isn't going to be a funny one, guys.
Vaughn lived and was last seen. Police got a search warrant to scour this house on Red Wing Street in Fruitland Friday night and all day Saturday. Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff said they received a credible tip, one of more than 1,200 tips they've fielded about Michael's case since he went missing on July 27th, 2021. At a press conference this summer, Huff told reporters a legitimate tip brought their investigation back to the area of Fruitland. Fruitland PD, Idaho State Police, and Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue used heavy machinery, including a backhoe, to dig. They cut down a tree and part of the fence. Canines were also out, helping search for any remains. Huff says a couple lives at the house but doesn't own it. He isn't aware of any connection they have to the Vaughn family.
No matter what's happened, it's been tragic for the family, and that's tough.
A neighbor told us he's never seen a search like this in the area. Mike Parker says crews knocked on his door and other neighbors in the past.
Almost immediately I had a knock on the door that night, want to, check our backyard, check the garage, check, to see if there's any way there was around. We've had police in the house a couple of different times over the last year or so. They showed me a picture of a kid's little scooter thing, looked like it was sun-drenched if I'd seen it. And
police say they'll keep searching until they hit every inch of the yard. Crews wrapped up here at about 5:30 tonight, and they'll be back on scene Sunday morning at around 9:30.
And we will be back out there as well, continuing our coverage as crews continue their search tomorrow. And to stay up to date, you can follow this story as it develops at ktvb.com.
Okay, so now we're pretty up to date as to what's going on with the case. And again, I have not been covering this case, but like I said, out of respect to the victims and the victims' family, I'm not going to go into any speculation. I'm not going to go into anything like that because I'm not educated in this case enough to do so respectfully. And I'm not going to disrespect the creators that have been responsibly and carefully covering this case. So I would direct you to those channels, Chasing Truth, Duty Ron being a couple of them. And if Burden of Proof did too, yes, sub to Burden of Proof. So let me find. Real quick. I was going to go over the press conference, but from July, I think it was, but I don't think there's a need to do that. And this video here is going to be one example of why this channel loves and respects Chasing Truth. Please sub to Chasing Truth. This video is hers that she put out today. And yes, big trigger warnings for the stuff we're going to be talking about here. Lex Lust, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that.
All we knew that they had 2 people in custody, and now we know. That's what they gave us, so that we didn't lose hope. And thank you for destroying that.
And she's referring to YouTubers right now. The dark side of YouTube that has not been doing these things respectfully. We call them tragedy pimps because that's exactly what they are. Judy Ron calls them jagaloons.
I'm sorry.
People need to step back and let them please do their job, please. We're sitting here listening to it. It's not. This is not okay. This is our family. This is our lives. This is our baby. This is our baby.
Welcome, Daisy Clover.
I'm gonna be sick. I can't. We're not gonna be listening to any more today. We have family here. They're cooking and trying to cook, and Tyler and I just can't. And hearing all of that, and Thank you for taking away our hope.
Mama.
Thank you. People need to see.
Now, I gotta say that this is specifically why I get mad when people assume that a missing person is deceased when there's no evidence made public to indicate that. This is precisely why. This is a direct example as to why I get mad about that, why I'm careful not to do that, because there's somebody watching. You know, you don't think that a parent is likely going to at least click on it, maybe sit there for a second or two to see what it is. But a parent of a missing child who probably watches YouTube, sees her missing child's name and his or hers missing child's name and clicks on it, and then sees somebody talking about their child as if they know them, first of all, and saying that they're mourning this child when there's no evidence to dictate that this child is gone yet. Because the parents, all they have right now keeping them sane is hope. All they have to hold on to, all they have as a tool to manage the siblings of this missing child is hope. And so when these people make these assumptions and start speculating without any facts and start talking about a 5-year-old kid like they're dead, well, mom might be listening. Dad might be listening. Grandma and grandpa might be listening. Siblings might be listening. But, you know, as long as the super chats come in because you're such a web sleuth, right? With no law enforcement experience, with no investigative experience, you think it's something that any jackass sitting in a chair, farting into their couch can do. And it minimizes those hardworking investigators that are out there and what they've gone to school for years, studied psychology, trying to understand criminals that would do horrible things. Studying all the things that go into being an effective law enforcement officer or an investigator. And you want to sit there and act like you know everything. Like you know more than these hardworking men and women who go out there every day with a gun to their side, with a badge, and put their lives on the line just to get questions answered, just to bring peace to somebody like we're seeing on this screen.
Before they start putting out this stuff. And yeah, it is public information, but it was kept from us for a reason, and they're doing things that I'm sorry, no YouTuber has a right to know right now. And
let me elaborate on that point right there, because I love hearing a parent finally say the things that us responsible YouTubers say on a constant basis that we've been saying for years. You're not entitled to the details of an ongoing investigation. You're not entitled. Just because you make a press badge and put it on and go around and say, oh, well, this entitles me to information. No, it does not. You're not entitled to any information. I'm not entitled to any information. The only people entitled to any information of an ongoing investigation involving a missing child is the people that are directly missing that child. Mom and dad, and maybe grandma and grandpa. That's it.
YouTube are doing everything they can for justice for Michael. So I think that's all I'm really gonna say today, y'all, because I can't.
Brandy, I love you, honey.
You've been listening to Brandy Neal today. She was on a channel and she found out that one of the people whose house they are searching got upgraded charges. Charges for hiding or concealing someone's death or the death of a person. The police hid this from them for a specific reason. These parents still had a lot of hope. And she says that they're sitting there listening to the machinery. They're not allowed to go down there. She put out a heartfelt, tearful video just yesterday, asking everybody to please just stop, to just pray for her family and for Monkey, and to share his photo. These parents still have hope that that is not Monkey in that ground. So today, YouTubers, Betty, from what I understand, and others called the police station, got the charges, and did all of this live. There are other YouTubers who are calling and speaking to potential suspects and people in the area.
I don't know, but Duty Ron, you can answer this if you're still in here. What do you think about the officer that actually gave her that information? I mean, is it public record? Or can anybody just do that? Should he have given that information to a random person that called and asked what the charges were?
Have to ask why. Why are you doing this? Do you think that this has helped the family at all? She's in agony. Why are you doing this? I know the reason.
We know
it's
why.
To help your channel.
Yeah, we know why.
It is not to help this family. The family doesn't want anybody down there. They've asked for that repeatedly. They've asked for peace. They've asked to be left alone. Yet, people are making plans to go down there. Why? This baby potentially is in that backyard under the ground. And people are live streaming details about the case that the police have not put out. And you may say it's public record and it's for everybody to know. A lot of people know Brandy has been on social media, keeping up with what people are doing on her son's case. Not our child, her baby. And this is how she has to see this news, even though she asked people to stop. This is how she finds out. Does it make you feel better? Do you feel good about yourself? Are you just going to use the excuse that because you're on YouTube, you're part of the media and you're allowed to report on things that are public record? It isn't about that. It's not about your freedom and your rights. It's about these families and how they're being harmed. Why can't people see that shit? This was over the top. Your plans, whatever you think you're going to do, it's over the top. This shit has to stop.
Let them know.
This is the family asking you for it to stop. Will you? Will you show enough responsibility and compassion to just stop right now?
I'm glad you asked that. What's popping? Thank you for the super chat. I'm glad you asked this, though. You said, is there a way to help this family? My heart breaks for them. The way to help this family is to make people aware of Michael Vaughn and that he's missing, share his description, and just pray, or at least share the hope that the family has. If you're not religious, just at least share the hope, and that's it. And let law enforcement do their job, and don't flood the internet with irresponsible speculation and theories, because what that ends up doing is that ends up getting jagaloons, as Duty Ron would put them, random jagaloons to be calling the police station going, have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? And tying up the tip lines when a credible tip could be coming in, and tying up resources that could be used in efforts to find Michael Vaughn. So what you can do, and I'm going to play more of this young lady's what she's been saying. She went on another channel, so I'm going to play some of the clip channels coverage of that stuff. But she's going to let you know what you can do.
I wonder if you will. My hopes aren't high, but I'm wondering if you will.
I'm with you on that.
Go back, rewind, look at her face, and then explain why you won't stop.
It's because they don't care. It's because they don't care. All right. Now let me find some more here. Sorry about that, guys. There's a lot here, so I'm going to play Chronicles of the Shadies clip here.
I've got a message from my family. This is your warning. If you are coming here to harass our family, you are not going to be met with kindness.
Now, she's not messing around. She's not messing around, and I love it. And there's only one particular group of people. Let me get, Duty Ron's answered my question here. Thank you, Duty Ron. The Glare arrests are public record once processed. Each department has rules about releasing information via the phone. I do not know that jurisdiction's procedures. Great answer. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, actually. So who knows? Maybe they were not, violating procedure.
Not right now.
Wait, I was going to say something here. Oh, yeah. I was going to say that we all know that that there's only one particular group of people, one little very, very small, dark corner of YouTube that does what she's talking about. So she's calling them out directly. Nobody else does that. Tammy Bullhorn Boob is doubling down in a community post. Okay, I'll check that out. Thank you so much. And welcome, Dorian Gray, or Dorian Gray's sister.
I don't have the strength in me to be kind right now.
I don't blame you.
I'll do my best, but if you're coming here to harass me and my family or worry because I sat outside on a bench outside for 10 hours yesterday waiting for law enforcement to come give me and then take pictures of me and post them on the internet and drive through our neighborhood,
Wow.
you have no business being here. None. There's nothing to see here. There's what you want to
Thank you, Chronicles of the Shady, for covering it.
see a grieving family. Does that get you excited? Because
Wow.
guess what? I don't have patience right now. I am on edge. I haven't slept. I haven't stopped shaking in 3 days, and I'm really not cold, to tell you the truth. My children didn't want to go to school.
I'd like to play all of that. I wish I had the entire. I have that stream, but it's 5 hours long, dude. I don't know where the. I mean, I guess I could like sift through it because I want to hear her entire. Yeah, here it is. Let me just see if I can just find. Oh no, this. It's not even that stream. Never mind. It's not even that stream. Okay, here we go. This is a different one.
You know, we talk about lurkers, right? Lurkers in the back and everything like that. Imagine them outside of your house every minute and a half. I need a favor. Some of these YouTubers that are contacting potential suspects. Stop. This is my son. You have no right. Stop it. You are not law enforcement.
Let him know.
And what you're doing is you are hindering Michael's case.
Exactly.
Stop it, please. Let them do their jobs. They are doing an amazing job, and they've continued to do an amazing job. And the things you're doing and pulling right now is unacceptable, because you know what you're doing? If some of these things that are going on right now are factual, you are hurting anything of justice for my son. Now stop it.
Now, real quick, I gotta say, there's a silver lining to this here right now, because I gotta tell you guys, I've been saying what she's saying right here for years, and I've always hoped that a parent or loved one of a victim would speak up on this stuff. Normally, they just keep out of it. They're like, I don't want to engage in any YouTube bullshit, because law enforcement would usually recommend that they don't, and for good reason. And I'm, because they're emotional. And what normally ends up happening is when I see one of these parents or loved ones of a victim go on a YouTube channel, they end up engaging in the drama. They end up going on the wrong YouTube channels, and then people lose respect for them. People lose the empathy for them, because now they become entertainment. I've been waiting for a parent to do what she's doing right now for a long time. So I think that she is a hero right now when it comes to other cases that YouTubers are going to cover and talk about, because there's a not so fine line between YouTubers that care about victims and YouTubers that don't, that only care about the drama involving a case and how much that drama is going to generate money for them, revenue for them. And so I'm grateful that she is speaking up on this issue. Because I don't think that these people, I believe that this will at least make an impact to some of them. I have to hope that this statement that she's making is going to make an impact. Maybe not to the person directly that she's referring to, but I believe that she hopefully is making a difference in the way that a lot of YouTubers handle their channels moving forward, because these aren't just characters in a Lifetime movie, man. These are people that are going through the worst possible thing that I can imagine. I mean, I can't imagine being a parent and your small child with siblings goes missing. You don't have any idea where they are. You don't know if they're okay. You don't know if they're not okay. You don't know what's happening to them. Your mind is racing with possibilities, and you're doing anything you can to not visualize scenarios. That's the deepest that I could possibly imagine what she is possibly going through. And I would assume that it's just a fraction, a small fraction of what she's actually going through. And for her to speak up, hopefully this resonates with people. For her to validate everything that every decent YouTuber who actually cares about these victims and is just merely trying to generate information and trying to generate and spread information, I guess. This is, helpful, because it's not just YouTuber against YouTuber anymore. It's not just this type of YouTuber versus that type of YouTuber anymore. This is a parent who's speaking up and saying, yeah, shut up. You don't know anything, and you have no business calling people who are potentially suspects. See, these people, they act like this, like you got this Betty who keeps saying she's a paralegal. Spent this whole drunk stream talking about how she's a paralegal, but she doesn't seem to have the first iota of what it takes to get justice. An arrest is merely prelude to a conviction. That's the point. The ultimate thing is a conviction. That's it. See, people who think that it just ends with slapping handcuffs on somebody, well, we know they did it. Just slap the handcuffs on them. Get them in jail. That's ridiculous. It's asinine. Because if you don't have enough evidence, that person's going to walk free. And if you take them to trial, they beat you, they beat the prosecution in court, you don't get to try them for that again. No, it doesn't matter what evidence you find after the fact. It's called double jeopardy. So there's only one chance. And when you start talking to people that are involved in even in a 6 degrees of separation type situation involved in this case, if you start talking to them, you're tampering with potential witnesses or suspects. And there's no telling what their defense is going to use. And I'm telling you, I say this all the time. People, all it takes is all the defense's job. It's not to prove innocence. The burden of proof is on the prosecution. The prosecution has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. That means there can be no doubt at all. So the prosecution has to prove to 12 people, and they have to see it unanimously. It has to be proven so well that all 12 people have to see it unanimously. that way. So the defense's job is simply to create doubt in the mind of one juror. That's all it takes. One juror to go, you know what? I'm not convinced. This is somebody's life we're talking about. I'm not convinced. And all 11 other people could be going, are you kidding me right now? That person could be like, I don't care. I'm not convinced. And then that person walks and is just Casey Anthony through their life, living dandy, doing interviews. Casey Anthony, if she wanted to, she could write a book right now and profit. Think about that for a second. We all know she's guilty. We all know Casey Anthony's guilty. But think about it. How are you going to feel if she goes out and writes a book and then they make a movie out of it? She gets a movie deal. You know what I'm saying? And then what are you going to do those 10 years later when that happens with these cases that you're blowing a bullhorn through and calling people on the phone? You're getting some neighbor's docs, and then you call them on the phone and saying, this is Jonathan Lee Riches, a.k.a. JLR, and I want to ask you a couple of questions. And then somehow that gets used by the defense. And then those same people are going to be on their YouTube channels going, can you believe the nerve that they decided to write a book and capitalize on this? But they don't want to hear that. You know why? Because it's not profitable.
Please. You have no right. What you have the rights to is to keep his face out there and to keep hope and to support law enforcement.
Yes.
No, don't be contacting these people, please. You don't know the damage you can do to a case. Please.
All right, now this is a video from Heels in the Air, and this pertains to what I was just talking about. This jagaloon right here.
I need a favor. Some of these YouTubers that are contacting potential suspects, stop.
Carson Starkey provided a lot of insight in that interview that I just had with him about these two individuals.
Thank you, Patricia Sell.
Please let them do their jobs. They are doing an amazing job and they've continued to do an amazing job. And the things you're doing and pulling right now is unacceptable because you know what you're doing? If some of these things that are going on right now are factual, you are hurting anything of justice for my son. Now stop it. Please.
Hello? Hi, Carson? Yes. Hi, good morning. My name is Jonathan. I'm sure you're aware of what's going on around your house. I'm just wondering what's going on here.
Yeah, that's
I'm a reporter, Original Media Group, and I am covering the Michael Vaughn.
Yeah, he's a reporter. He's a reporter. Have you ever heard a reporter ask a question that stupid and that vague? Yeah, I'm sure you know what's going on. That's going around your house. What's going on here? What? Could you be more specific? Goth girl, thank you. The mother is pleading for them to stop. We could help her stop by leaving comments on their videos exposing what they did. That would that help? I mean, I guess, I don't think it would hurt as long as you're just respectful and it's just all about showing support to the family. That's, I'm sure they could use that. So yeah, I think that's kind of a beautiful idea, Goth girl. Thank you.
Vaughn case, and I see a lot of activity outside your house. Can you just confirm with me that you're not?
Jonathan, you don't belong to the original media group. There's no such thing.
There's no such thing.
The man that started that is in prison.
Prison, where you were for
Fucking
10 years.
Psycho.
There's people circulating your name online saying that you're possibly involved. Can you just elaborate if you're involved or not? Or is this dealing with you and your wife, Dorothy? Or is this dealing with what's going on next door to you?
Because this guy's just going to be like, you know what, dude? You're from the media group? All right. You got me. This guy, that's what he's going to do. Because you know what? JLR knows that that's not going to happen. What he's doing right now is just flexing. That's all he's doing. He's like trying to get more clicks and views so that his audience goes, this guy is cutthroat, man. He's wild, man. This guy doesn't play. He's straight up calling this dude and asking him if he's involved. He's straight up showing him that he's not scared. That's all he's doing. He's just flexing for his audience because he knows the guy's not going to just say, okay. What he's doing is bullying a guy who he just admitted rumors are circulating about him online. How many times have we seen that? There's nothing, law enforcement hasn't named this guy as a suspect. This guy's probably just some innocent dude that happens to be a neighbor, and then somebody just spun some shit around. And now he's calling and harassing the guy. And subtly names his wife by name in order to intimidate him. This is what these people do. So this is potentially an innocent man that he's calling, that he doxed, called, and harassed. Moron.
Okay, first of all, I'm not involved with that at all.
So please think about the things you're saying and you're putting out there, especially when it's coming to a missing baby and his siblings and his family and us. No, please. We've got lots of family that are coming and everybody to be here, but we don't know facts yet. The facts are that they're possibly looking for remains. So please.
All right, give me 1 second here. Yeah, we got a few things to go over here, folks. Now, this is another Heels video. And this is what Michael Monkey Vaughn's mom was talking about here. Yeah, this is not okay. Because whether or not it's legal, it's not the point. The point is that it doesn't help and it's disrespectful to the family.
calling the Payette County Sheriff's Office. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. To ensure your call is routed correctly, please select from the following options. If you know the 4-digit extension, you may enter it now. For court-related questions, please press 9.
So this bona fide sounds like she's calling the law enforcement. So we'll see.
Yes, can you provide me what the current charges are for a Stacy Wondra and a Sarah
Unreal,
Wondra?
man. Unreal.
Stacy has not been arrested. It's like Sarah.
Okay, and what's her charges?
Failure to report death to law enforcement and coroner.
All right.
That's all it is.
Thank you very much.
VHB called police to find out charges on that Sarah person, and they told her he may
That is false.
speak to them about putting information also.
Wow. That is false. That is false. That is not true. And I have a very close source that has seen the documents. That is not.
Hey, Brandy.
So it's not a lie.
God, this poor lady, man.
The yard that they're digging up right now, the woman is being charged with not reporting the death of a child.
Oh, honey.
And thank you for putting that out on the internet before our family was informed, because they were trying to protect us and they're trying to make sure, because there's 2 people involved.
Exactly, because law enforcement actually cares about these victims. Because law enforcement, or at least the law enforcement officers and agents that are involved in this case, are clearly, their actions are clearly in favor of these victims and their families. And I would say that generally that's what law enforcement officers are doing. Generally, absolutely. Not every single one of them are perfect, but that's their job. And the bottom line is they're the trained professionals that are charged with the responsibility of handling this, not some dickhead YouTuber. Simple. It's real simple. And then for these inexperienced people who have no experience in investigations whatsoever, have the nerve and the audacity to challenge law enforcement's abilities and their efforts, to question them, to criticize them when you don't know shit. Like, dude, I've never cooked a duck l'orange, okay, in my life. But I like it. So what if I were to walk back into a 4-star, 5-star restaurant, into the kitchen, find the chef, and just start criticizing everything that he's doing while I watch him cook a duck l'orange? You know what my role is? To shut the fuck up, sit down in my fucking table, drink my water or my wine, eat my appetizer, talk to the person across from me, and wait for my fucking duck l'orange. Period. That's my role in that situation. That's my role in that situation. Period. That's it. It doesn't go beyond that.
Well,
Oh my God.
they're trying to tie the case together. So thank you so much for putting that out there before they could tell us. Thank you. You have no idea what you've done to our family right now. You have no idea.
Yes, guys, you heard that correctly. You heard that correctly.
These people, man, they just don't stop, dude. And it's it's really annoying, man. This might be the same thing. But I'm gonna play it again. I'm just finding different clips of when she.
No, sorry.
You look like beautifulness.
Thanks.
To be honest.
This is from Savage Live Media.
You know, we talk about lurkers, right? Lurkers in the back and everything like that. Imagine them outside of your house every minute and a half.
Now I'm gonna let this play, even though we've already heard it, but it's only 3 minutes long. It's already almost a minute in, but I'm gonna let it play simply because I'm not about to cut this lady off. You know, I believe in a higher power, and I choose to believe that this higher power is causing me to click on things that are going to make sure that we hear what this lady had to say, and that we're clear in understanding it.
I need a favor.
Yes.
Some of these YouTubers that are contacting potential suspects.
What?
Oh my fucking God. I'm sorry.
I missed what was said.
Stop. You have no right. This is my son. You have no right. Stop it. You are not law enforcement. And what you're doing is you are hindering Michael's case. Stop it, please. Let them do their jobs. They are doing an amazing job, and they've continued to do an amazing job. And the things you're doing and pulling right now is unacceptable, because you know what you're doing? If some of these things that are going on right now are factual, you are hurting anything of justice for my son.
What's poppin'? Thank you. What's the best way to law enforcement know about YouTube without sounding crazy, so this doesn't happen to another family? This I'm not aware of. It's covered by the law yet. Law enforcement knows what's going on. See, the problem is that I have a theory on why that takes place. I'll get into that in a second. Let me let her finish.
Now stop it. Please. You have no right. What you have the rights to is to keep his face out there and to keep hope and to support law enforcement.
Yes.
No, don't be contacting these people, please. You don't know the damage you can do to a case. Please. Just in this, there's been 6 cars that have driven by our home.
Okay. So again, What's Poppin' asked, what's the best way for law enforcement to know about the YouTube without sounding crazy so it doesn't happen to another family? This I'm not aware of. It's covered by the law yet. I'm sure there's laws against a lot of the things that these people have been doing. I'm sure there's plenty of laws against them. My theory I'm not a law enforcement officer. I don't know, but my theory on that is that uh, there's different factors involved. If first of all you have idiots like Bullhorn Boob, who basically hides behind the First Amendment. So what's going to happen is she's super loud. She jumps in front of any news camera that'll let her. And what'll happen is she'll claim that her First Amendment rights have been violated, and then she's taking resources away from law enforcement that could go towards finding Quentin Simon or Michael Vaughn and getting answers. And what I believe would happen is if they do that, it's a bad look. It's just a bad look, and it's not just that it's a bad look. Like I said, they don't want to take the resources away. That's small potatoes. It's just an annoyance. So the way they see it is we're focused on finding this missing child. We're not focused on throwing people in jail for yelling and screaming through a bullhorn and disturbing the peace. There's bigger fish to fry here. But so basically they hide behind that, and that's how they function. So the only thing that can really be done is channels like mine and other channels like Heels in the Air and the other clip channels and so many others trying to spread awareness as to why that's wrong and try to wake up their viewers, because it's their viewers that empower them. It's the fact that they're getting so many views. I just wish that the drama would be, the thirst for dramatics would be secondary to getting justice for these families, and then you just using our common sense as to what's needed for these families to get justice. I just wish that would be the case. So I'm doing what I can to try to educate just subscribers. That's why I make fun of Bullhorn Betty, because it's to discredit her. It's simply to discredit her. It's simply to show that she is completely and totally out of her mind and totally full of shit and only interested in money. She doesn't care about these victims. If she did, she would at least do the slightest bit of research when she says she's covering a case. She doesn't know anything about the cases that she's covering. JLR doesn't know anything about the cases that he's covering. We know MGL doesn't know anything about the cases that she's covering, yet they have thousands and thousands of people throwing money at them. And it's ridiculous. It's insane. I'm not going after them. I'm targeting their listeners. I'm trying to wake them up. They're victims of them too. If you don't have a product, if you don't have customers, your product doesn't matter. You know what I mean? This is just my version of Yelp, giving bad reviews and hoping that it wakes people up. So, but that's all we can do. Law enforcement, again, they have bigger fish to fry. They have more important things to do. They're not going to go and unless it's it happens to be a law enforcement agency with a massive budget and plenty of resources that they can spare a couple of officers and a couple of, and they could spare an ADA to convict and make an example of them. And I'd like to see that happen. I'm hoping to see that happen. You see, BHB, last time she was live, when she did that drunk stream that we went over, she said something in that drunk stream where she was talking about, well, when I go back to Savannah County, she said, Chatham County, actually, but she said Savannah County. But when she goes back there, she plans on getting arrested. Okay. And I know exactly why. I know exactly why she's doing that. Why she's doing that is because she saw how much money Dolly rolled in when he got arrested out there. Everybody was like, oh my God, and treated him like a martyr. And they donated all kinds of money hoping to get him out on bond, right? And there was no bond necessary. So he just made a whole bunch of money off of getting arrested out there. That's what she's hoping to do. That's her plan. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. She's hoping to create a martyred character in herself and project that. And then and it's going to, right, a badge of honor, she said, right. And it's going to generate a whole bunch of super chats from a bunch of lonely, sad, idiot people with nothing better to do. People who think the same way that she does. It has nothing to do with justice for a child. I mean, you saw it. I mean, alcohol is basically truth serum. And she was hammered drunk the other night. And we made fun of it. We had fun, sure. But in all seriousness, talking about that, she revealed a lot. Because every single time that she shed a tear and talked about one of these missing kids, she made it about herself and how she can't get a man. Yeah. Every time. Every single time. And that should tell you that these people don't actually care. They simply don't care. And by the way, she named that video breaking news in the Michael Vaughn case. And she didn't share any news at all. I mean, it's just disgusting, man. This is from Chronicles of the Shady.
We're going to do good things in this coming year. If they haven't found nothing today and they don't find him in that backyard, then I'm not going to go out to Fruitland, Idaho yet. If for some crazy reason they find Michael Monkey Vaughn in his backyard, I need my mom to start looking for plane tickets because I'm going to probably fly out to Idaho. And
dude, you can't find a plane ticket for yourself. See, this is the kind of thinking that I'm talking about, folks. This is the kind of thought process that I'm referring to. Okay, so here he is saying, "I'm going to need one of my mods to find me a plane ticket." Like, so wouldn't it be easier just to pull up the website, find the flight, book it, instead of like going through a back and forth with a second party and them going, well, when are you available? What flight do you think would be more convenient for you? Do you want a layover? Are you okay with a layover? And having these endless, ridiculously redundant, pointless conversations when he could just already have that information in his head and go, this flight doesn't work for me. This flight doesn't work for me. This price doesn't work for me. Blah, 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 blah. Boom. Okay, that one will work. I've never taken more than 10 minutes to book a flight. That includes putting in my card information. Never taken more than 10 minutes to do that. But this is the kind of thought process that somebody who thinks that he's an investigator and that he's getting things done when he goes out there thinks. That's how he thinks. It's insane.
I don't know what I want to do or how I want to get there or whatever. All I know is that Michael Monkey Vaughn, it sounds like we're getting pretty close
Thank you, Sinner
to finding out
1977.
what happened. And the best way you can support our channel is donating to Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal.
Wow.
Because I can guarantee you, for me to fly to Sarasota, and you can look this up all day long yourself. Like, I ain't lying. You know, no matter what my haters say, I don't lie. It's going to cost me $800 round trip to get out there and back.
That whole stream, she was lying.
If you guys want the content from Fruitland, Idaho, other than the work I've already done, I need probably about $1,000 to get out there.
Wow.
So if you guys would like to sponsor the trip, the round trip ticket is going to be over $600 to $700. If you want to buy it for me, I'm happy. I fly out of Sarasota or Tampa, whichever's cheaper for you. I never look a gift horse in its mouth, but I can tell you, this family needs us.
No, they don't. They don't need you. Brandy was abundantly clear that she does not need you, that she doesn't want you there. They simply don't. And that'll be the end of them right there on YouTube. Because so far, she's been playing off of the family's guilty and we're going to go out there and confront them. What are they going to do out there exactly, by the way? What's their plan? Because this is not, they're not suspects in any way, shape, or form. Brandy is saying everything that anybody that would criticize, she's saying everything that anybody that would criticize a parent of a missing child wouldn't say. She's saying all of it. What's popping? Thank you. Oh my God, the last thing anyone needs is Butterball. They're right. Agreed. She's saying everything right. She's saying, let law enforcement do their job. What you can do is keep his name out there. Keep his name and face out there. That's what you can do. That's the only thing that you are obliged to do. Nothing else. And for her to have to speak up and say that out loud, that's the sad state that we're in on YouTube. And that we have been for years, people. We have been in this community for years. We have been in this sad state. And for her to have to finally do that should tell you how sad of a state that this community has been in. It's disgusting. And yeah, what is that? I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, Lex Lux, but what good is that gonna do? Opening a CPS case. How does that not add to the problems? Law enforcement's doing their investigations. If they see it fit, they'll contact CPS. That's not for you to do. Patricia Sell, thank you. Read my message. What can we do to stop this behavior? Injunction, petition, contact YouTube. We need your opinion, please, dear. I'm giving it to you. Thank you. But yeah, I'm giving it to you right now. I'm telling you what you can do. Basically nothing. Except, I mean, if you have a YouTube channel, speak out against these YouTubers. You know, say the same thing that Brandy's saying. Back her up. Don't contact Brandy. Leave her alone. Leave her husband alone. Leave her family alone. Leave the neighbors alone. And if you're sub to them, especially if you're sub to them for hate views, unsub. Absolutely, Cherry. Thank you. Unsub. If you're sub to these people, even if it's for hate views, unsub to them. Hit them in their wallets because that's all they care about. Hit them in their wallets. All the Bullhorn Bettys out there, all the MGLs out there, all of the JLRs out there, hit them in their wallets, because that's the only thing that they're concerned with. They don't care about anything else except making a profit. And right, yeah, don't go calling law enforcement. They have enough to deal with. They have limited resources, and all of those resources should be focused on finding out what happened to Michael Vaughn. Period. That's it. But I say, look into your heart. I want you to really try to practice empathy right now, folks. Like, really just take a second and use your imagination here. And I've done this before. But if you're a parent and you love your kids, try to imagine in detail what that scenario would be like if your child went missing. And I'm talking about, imagine the day that you found out that this child was conceived. And you know this baby's coming. I want you to think about that. Think about the entire pregnancy, whether you're a dad or a mom, but think about the entire pregnancy, what you were thinking, the anticipation. Think about the day they were born, the joy you felt, the worry that you had, because every loving parent goes through this. Am I good enough? Am I going to do them right? What's poppin'? Leave everybody alone. Thank you. Yes, you're right. Think about them and think about you that day when you're first holding your baby, give them your first bottle, or the first time they took your breast, and you're just thinking, no matter what, I'm never going to let anything happen to this baby. And you meant it. You meant it with all your heart. And then they get off the formula or the breast milk, whatever it may be. They turn out colicky. You don't know what to do. They're crying. And you're like, I will do anything if I could just telepathically communicate with this baby and find out what's wrong with them. Because I don't know if it's an ear infection, and I don't know if they're colicky. I don't know what it is, but they won't stop crying, and I'll do anything to take whatever their pain is away. I'll do anything. I will cut off my right arm right now. God, if you please, just let me find out how I can make this pain in my little baby go away, because they're staring at you going, thinking, mommy, what is wrong with me and why am I in so much pain? Make it stop. And then it's just something simple like an ear infection or colic, and then you fix it until the next little thing comes along. All the diaper rash, all of these things. And then they move on to solid food. You celebrate that. You film it with your phone. You post it on Facebook. Take their first steps. Put their first little puzzle type thing together as toddlers. Start school. And then before you know it, they're 5 years old. They formed sentences. They're asking you questions. You're annoyed out of your mind at the questions that they're asking you constantly. But at the same time, you marvel at their curiosity, and you're just so grateful that you have this beautiful, amazing thing that there was a 400 trillion to 1 chance that they would exist on this planet. That's a real number, folks. 400 trillion to 1 chance of you being born. Think about that number for a second. Try to visualize that number. So here you are, annoyed because they're asking you question after question after question after question. What's that? Why? 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 And then you just think about that for a second, about how blessed you are. That you have this beautiful little curious mind looking to you for answers for everything. You know? And then they start school. And then you turn your back for 1 second and they're gone. And you don't know why. And you think about that day when you held them in your arms and you said, no matter what, I'm not going to let anything happen to you. And then just think about everything that comes with that. That's just where it starts. That's just where it begins. Because the fact is you haven't been through that. So you can't fucking imagine what these parents are going through. You can't begin to fucking imagine what these parents are going through. The sadness, the fear, the guilt, trying to push it back with thoughts of joy and hope. You got their siblings that have gone through the same thing, and all you're thinking about is them being okay and getting through this. And you have to stay strong for them so that they don't worry and they don't even remotely feel the way that you do right now. You don't know what that's like. So the decent thing to do is understand that fact and just simply be supportive. And you don't know what it's like to be a law enforcement officer that's charged with the responsibility of bringing a family that's going through that peace. You don't have any idea what that's like. You've never gone through it. You've never gone through the training that it took, the drive, that thing, that fire in your soul that said, I want to help families find their missing loved ones. That made you go through all you had to go through to be put in a position to where you are the one to get to do that. And you don't want to fail. Makes me sick, man. Makes me sick. And I don't even care if you don't have kids. I don't care. You know, I understand that you may not be able to relate directly, but you can try to relate. You've seen kids before. You've seen how innocent they are. You've seen and been around them enough to know that they don't deserve to not be with their mommy, their daddy, their grandpa, their grandma. They don't deserve to be taken away from them. That's where they feel safe. A child simply deserves to feel safe and be happy. They earn that right because they didn't ask to come into this world. They had no say in that. Their parents brought them in. The parents made them, brought them in. They don't have say. So the least that any human being adult can do is take into consideration that at least, the very least, they deserve to be happy and feel safe. Simple. And simply use your common sense to try to protect that. To try to, preserve that. And here we are, a mass amount of people, thousands of people following this case, thousands upon thousands. And it's only the minority that's doing what I'm asking you to do right now? Really? It's incredibly sad. It's incredibly sad. But anyways, guys, I don't think I have any more to say on the subject. I'll keep you updated on updates moving forward to a certain degree. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys being there, lending me your ear. And I'm sorry this wasn't a humorous one, but sometimes humor's not going to make the statement that we need made at the moment that's needed. So I love you guys a lot, and I believe in you guys, and I believe that there's a good side to everybody in here. And do what Cherry's saying. Don't even click on them. Don't even click on them when it comes to them covering this case. Let the clip channels handle it. Let the clip channels handle it. If you're just looking for the entertainment, we'll provide that for you. We'll make them look like fools like we have been, but don't, let us do it. Let us do it. Let us get our hands dirty. And then we'll bring you the entertainment. I promise. I promise. Okay. But yeah, don't even comment in their chats. Don't comment in their comment sections. Don't perpetuate that algorithm. Let's keep it down to a minimum to where we could still expose their behavior and let those of us who have been doing it continue to do it. And we'll keep doing that for you. Okay. That's the deal that I'm asking you to make with me here. Mona Lisa, thank you. Yeah, I'm not going nowhere. Been doing this 4 years, man. I'm not going nowhere. Thank you, Mona Lisa. Guys, I love you very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.